All right, good morning, everyone.
Looks like we're live.
Dorothy and I are back live, and we're switching it up.
What do you mean we're switching it up?
I'm on this time.
Oh. Well, yes, so we've switched sides, which is a little weird. Usually I'm on that side, and Drew's on this side. But
Crazy.
We're switching it up.
We're getting crazy. So we're back live with another Friday morning show, and we want to talk about healthy dinners today.
Mm-hmm. So we've been doing this series. It was supposed to be one show that we did and about your most difficult meals. But when we surveyed or asked the question, I suppose, maybe not a survey, but when we asked the question on our Facebook page, which is the most difficult meal for you of the day to prepare, we had a variety of different answers. It wasn't just, oh, it's breakfast. Oh, it's dinner. Everybody seemed to be in a different place, which is totally fine. And then we were going to do one show on all of the difficulties of each meal, but it turned out that Drew talked way too much, so we couldn't just do one show.
Such a lie.
So we've broken it down. A couple weeks ago, we talked about the challenges of breakfast and how important routines are to make sure that, like morning routines are, to make sure you get that breakfast in, and we gave some ideas on quick breakfasts. Smoothies and chia cereal were a couple of our ideas.
Is breakfast a word?
Don't even start with my words, Drew. Breakfasts. It's the plural of breakfast. Breakfasts.
It's an East Coast word.
No, it's the Dorothy Dictionary word. If you have not already bought your copy of Dorothy Dictionary, you might want to consider. Drew thinks I make up words.
She makes up words all the time. All the time, like breakfasts. There's a word the other day, and I was like, man, I need like a Dorothy Dictionary.
I believe that was triceps.
Oh, you said tricep. Oh, wait, tricep? See, now I don't even know what's right anymore. What do you say?
Triceps.
Triceps. No, you say tricept.
Oh, is that what I say? Tricept.
She says tricep with a T.
Look at my tricept.
And I'm like, there's no T on tricep.
Where's my world?
I feel like we're pretty cool. This is a pretty cool setup. Now, Dorothy doesn't think it's all that cool, but I like to nerd out a little bit. So we have the phone here. We're on Instagram.
Hey, Instagram.
So we have the phone set up.
Horizontally.
Thank you. Horizontally. So hopefully you guys can see it horizontally instead of vertically. Otherwise, we might be sideways.
We may be, because look how it's coming in.
We have a bunch of people in here. We have Ginny in here. What's up, Ginny? And I can't see the names so well because the screen is over there. But then we have our laptop set up here, and then over here we have our DSLR camera. So we're in like a real studio.
Yes. Yes.
But I think it's cool that we get a chance to get better for you guys because we want clearer pictures. We want better content and we want better sound. So we're doing that to improve your experience. So I hope you enjoy it.
Yes. So now, can I get back to my intro?
Let's get back to breakfasts.
Breakfasts. What is the plural of breakfast, Drew?
Oh, man. Breakfast. Use it in a sentence?
I like many of breakfasts.
Oh, my gosh.
What is wrong? Okay. Who's with me? Is breakfast, plural of breakfast, breakfasts?
Could you leave some comments below so we know that Dorothy's out to lunch on this one?
No. What is the plural of breakfast?
You just don't use it in that sentence.
Well, what if there's more than one breakfast?
You don't have more than one breakfast. Had 2 breakfasts.
My 2 favorite breakfasts are...
S. There's just an S, not an ES. I had 2 breakfasts this morning.
Breakfasts.
Not 2 breakfasts.
Okay.
We need some help. Leave some comments. All right.
My way's more fun. Breakfasts.
Okay, let's get back to your breakfasts.
Well, I was kind of wrapping up the breakfasts. Last week, I was just saying how we are doing a series of meal ideas. So we started out a couple weeks ago with breakfasts. And then last week we talked about lunches, and we what our biggest, I guess, tip was to make double your suppers, so that lunches become a whole lot easier. You just put something in the container, extras in the container in the evening, and then put it in the fridge. You grab your container and go for the next day for your lunch. And today we're going to talk about supper.
What is your favorite breakfast tip?
Oh, I thought we were over breakfast.
Just to recap for those. So if you guys missed the last couple shows, we'll put the link. They're already uploaded to YouTube, so we'll put the link in the comments below. But let's just recap your favorite breakfast idea for those that might have missed.
Well, I have two favorite breakfasts.
What do you got?
I like smoothies in the morning because they're so quick and easy to make. You just throw everything in the blender, blast, and you can take it with you as you go. So it really is a nice, quick and easy breakfast. And I also like chia seed cereal. We have a recipe for this. Maybe, Drew, we can add that in the comments below as well. And the reason I like the chia seed breakfast is because, well, also like the smoothie, it's quick and easy to prepare. But it's so easy on the stomach to digest. A lot of people tell us, I don't eat breakfast because my tummy gets upset. And we really do need to prepare our stomachs for food as well. So, it's the chia breakfast cereal is nice and light on the stomach. And if you're not used to eating breakfasts, if you're not used to eating breakfast, it's a good one to start with.
Look what Trudy has to say.
Breakfasts.
There's no E. Trudy said I'm not great for grammar, but I'd say it's breakfasts.
Breakfasts.
I'm with you, Trudy. I think so too.
It's a good thing I don't teach too much of the English grammar.
The thing is, Dorothy's not going to change. It'll get worse. When I bug her about a word, she just makes it worse. Or says it more often.
Who decided it was breakfasts?
It's Trudy.
Maybe it is breakfasts.
It's pretty sure it's breakfast. So we'll link the chia seed recipe, or you can go to trueformlife.com/chia seed breakfast recipe, or go to trueformlife.com/recipes, and all our recipes will show up.
And if you go to our homepage, trueformlife.com, there is a search engine at the top right. You can type anything in there that you would like. If you want smoothie recipes, type in smoothie, and then all of our smoothie recipes will come up. If you're looking for muffins, type in muffins, and then all the muffin recipes we have will come up. So it's very easy to locate our recipes through this search bar on our website.
I'll just show you our screen here real quick. Don't freak out, Dorothy. I'm getting better at this.
What are you showing us, Drew?
I was just reading Trudy's comment. She says it's cute.
Thank you, Trudy. She's so positive. You see, Drew?
Okay, so here's our website, trueformlife.com. And if you want to go to recipes, you can click recipes.
Show them the easy way. Okay, sorry. Go ahead, Drew. Go to recipes.
Well, you can go to recipes here. Show them the easy way. And so all of our recipes are going to pop up here. These are our recent recipes.
So they post on this page in order that they're written?
Yeah, so the search bar is here up the top right. So you can just type in breakfast there, hit the enter button. Dorothy does a new recipe each week. So this will give you, we have tons and tons of recipes. So here's the chia seed breakfast cereal that we're talking about. This is my personal favorite, breakfast skillet scramble.
It's more of a weekend kind of breakfast, so.
Yeah, it takes a bit more time, but
then if you typed in something even more specific, like oatmeal, for example, something like you would get even different results if you are more specific, like cookies, muffins, as opposed to snacks, for example.
Yes. So that'll give you some breakfast ideas, and if you have your own breakfast idea, leave a comment in the comments below and let us know what your favorite breakfast is, so we can share that with other people as well.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, so that was breakfast. We talked about lunch there when we just say, well, for us, the most convenient way to prepare lunch is to make extra dinner and bring that with you. And I think a lot of times we don't consider that, or we don't think that it can be that easy. Yes. So you can just make extra and package it up. And it doesn't take more time or effort. It takes a bit more effort, I suppose. But all you do is throw the leftovers in containers, and you're off instead of having to make a whole new meal at lunchtime.
Yeah. Yeah, it works fantastically.
Fantastically.
Works fantastically.
That is a word.
One of the things that people often tell us or write in is that, well, if I bring leftovers, then how do I heat it up, right? Because Drew and I advise not to use the microwave to heat up your food. And you know what? I just got really used to eating my leftovers without having them heated up. So some of you might not be, able to heat up your leftovers. But just try eating them as is and see it. It took me a little while to eat them that way. But just try. Or you might have a stove in your staff room or something that you can use and heat up on the stove in there.
And I think you'll get used to it. Like, give it a shot, because sometimes you're like, your mind is like, oh, I can never have cold leftovers or cold food. But Dorothy was just talking about how she got used to it, and it was normal. Like, it wasn't really a big deal. She just says, oh, I'll just take those.
And now I actually like my quinoa cold. Last night we were having Brussels sprouts and quinoa, and Drew's like, I don't want my quinoa to be cold, so I'm going to put it in with my soup. And I was like, well, I want my quinoa cold. I'm going to have it on the side with my Brussels sprouts. So you do it's just a habit that you need to form. I also know that, because I was at the thrift store the other day, and you can get these like little tiny, teeny little crock pots, like a one serving kind of thing. And I do know a couple people who say they just plug that in at their desk or wherever, and that's how they could heat up their leftovers as well, or that's how they do heat up their leftovers.
I want to include our Instagram audience as well, because we have two different audiences here. And so we had Jordan jump in here, and he said breakfasts are my favorite.
Did you say breakfast or breakfasts?
Oh, let me get to that comment there. So we actually just met Jordan. So what's up, Jordan? Thanks for tuning in. Jordan's got a cool little story, and hopefully we get a chance to connect maybe through an interview or through, well, we can do like a combination live of some sort. Jordan said, you guys are the best. And then we have Magnum York Olds Rentals. It says, is breakfasts with an S or with a Z? Breakfasts is my personal favorite with a Z.
Ooh, thank you. Somebody on my side. I like it with a Z too. It's original.
I don't want to put this back here.
But I think we're going to be upside the wrong way. But
this way?
I think so, because look how the writing is coming in.
Okay, don't worry about it.
Worry later. We'll figure that out later. Instagram when we're sideways.
I got it. We'll see if it's sideways. Let us know if it's sideways. We have the camera. Which way?
Horizontally.
Thank you. Horizontal. We're hoping that it'll record horizontally, but it might be going this way.
No, we wanted to record this way. Anyway, should we get on to our topic?
Let's get into dinners.
Yes, that's what we're going to be talking about today. The challenges of making dinner. And everything we've been talking about, breakfast, lunch, and now dinner, it all comes, we were going to use supper, remember? Because of the confusion with dinner and lunch. Supper.
Let me just jump in here. Trudy said, great idea, mini crock pot.
Yeah.
Crock pots are such a great idea. Like, everyone should have a crock pot for soup.
And we're going to get into why for our supper segment. But they're so convenient. We use ours all the time, our crock pot.
What were we saying before the crock pot?
Well, we talked about what to say. Because some people say that dinner is lunch, and some people say that dinner is supper. So to avoid confusion, we were going to say lunch and supper. So we're going to talk about supper today.
Supper, right. I say dinner. But we had that conversation in the last show. Some people were like, it's definitely supper, not dinner. And other people are like, I use it interchangeably.
Yeah.
So supper,
yes.
Right? What's going to be a tough one? Supper.
Ooh. Yeah, because for dinner, for me, is lunchtime.
All right.
Yeah.
So we have dinner ideas that we're talking about.
No, we have supper ideas that we're talking about today.
Okay. Supper ideas. And how can we get started with supper ideas?
Well, like I was trying to say before you interrupted me. I was trying to say that it all comes back to routine. We talked about routine at breakfasts. We talked about routine at lunchtime. And same thing with dinner. You need to create some sort of routine for when you come home. Because a lot of times we have long days at work, stressful days, and especially with families and kids, this kid is going here after school, that kid's going to soccer, this one's going to hockey and dance, and it goes on and on and on. So some type of preparation as well, and some type of routine, because what happens is we have all of these things going on, and if we have no plan or haven't done any prep for supper, then it just turns into usually a grab and go situation where you just grab what's easy, and so that everyone's, happy with a full belly. So it's not always the best choice.
What's not the best choice?
Those grab and go situations.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. So, I think that what I'm getting from that, and what I'd like to add, is that have a plan. Like if you have a plan and you know what you're going to have throughout the week, that's going to make your life a whole lot easier and a lot more stress-free. Mm-hmm. So if you don't have a plan, you run into Dorothy's grab and go idea where you just kind of run around. You don't really know. You grab something from the fridge, the pantry, the drive-thru, and usually that stuff that's not pre-prepared or pre-planned isn't the healthiest, isn't the best idea. So if our very first step, I suppose, is if you can plan out your week in advance, maybe you sit down on a Sunday, or for us, in our monthly membership group, Dorothy sends out the rest.
I send out the meal plan on a Friday in the monthly membership, and that way they can sit down, they can read it, they can go through it. Then you have a day to get groceries, which we usually suggest a Saturday, or some people like to do it Friday afternoon. And then on a Sunday, you have time to prepare because you have gotten your groceries already, you've looked at the meal plan, and then you're ready to rock and roll for the Monday. So it does take some time, but it's going to actually save time in the long run because you won't be running around wasting all that time. What am I going to make? What am I going to make? Like Tasmanian devil, right? Like running in a circle, looking in the pantry, looking in the fridge. How many times do we do that, right? Open the fridge. Nothing in there. Open the pantry. What am I going to make? You just run around without a plan.
Can I finish my point now?
I was helping you out because you guys stopped.
Yeah. Taking over.
Carlos stopped.
It's my turn.
I helped him out.
It's my turn.
Okay.
I want to play too.
Okay.
I just wanted to mention that. So when we send out our meal plans on Friday, that gives you the Friday and the weekend to prepare. So you have your meal plan ready to go on a Friday. So for example, if you're making your own meal plan, or if you're planning your own suppers, plan them out on a Friday, for example, or a Saturday, if that's an easier time for you. Everyone's different, so you have to understand that when we make a suggestion, you can transform or change that to fit your lifestyle. So if it's Friday or Saturday, you set out your meal plan so you know what you're going to have for every supper throughout the week. And then you go grocery shopping on a different day or the same day. Maybe it's a Friday or Saturday. And then on a Sunday, you prepare foods throughout the week so you're prepared in advance, so you know what you're doing, and you're not running around trying to figure out what the best thing is to make, or like you're stressed out, and maybe your spouse or the kids are like, "What's for dinner?" and you had a long day, and you're like, "I don't know, make some mac and cheese."
Yeah.
So I think being prepared is got to be the number one thing that you can do to improve your health around having healthier dinners prepared and ready to go.
And it's like we often talk about when we talk about exercise routines, is if you have the plan in front of you, the workout in front of you, all you have to do is go to the gym and execute the plan. It's the same thing in the kitchen. If you have a plan ready to go, you come home from work, all you have to do is execute the plan. So it takes away that stress of what am I going to make and what do I have in the fridge, because you already know you have what you need in the fridge, right? So a lot of times it's like, oh, I'll make this. And then you go to the fridge or the pantry. Well, can't make that because I don't have X, Y, Z, right? But if you plan ahead, you get your groceries for the meals you're going to have, you know you got what you need, right? And you don't have to run out to the store, or you don't have to go get different ingredients that you don't have.
So Trudy added a good point there, and we're kind of in a soup phase, at least at the time of this recording. Like, it's cold out. Mm-hmm. It's been a long. It's like it's been a long
season.
It's been a long winter.
Yeah.
But crock pots are fantastic because you can make soup, or I made a really nice lentil combination.
Yeah, a lentil dish. I guess you'd say lentil curry kind of thing. Right? Isn't that what it was?
Sure.
We'll go with that. Drew just makes up stuff sometimes, and we don't have names for them because it's just a concoction of food.
Combination. Sometimes it works out really well. Other times it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Sad.
It's true. He still eats it, even if it doesn't taste very good.
It's true. I eat for nutritional value. But what I was saying is with the crock pot, you can make your soups, for example, and if it's like a lazy Saturday, lazy Sunday, or if you're running around, either way, you can make your crock pot creation, whether it's a soup or a lentil dish, for example, or there's stews. You can, if those that, like we teach a plant-based diet, we don't eat a ton of meat, but you can throw like a slab of meat in there and you can let it roast all day or cook all day, however you want to say that. And that can, by the end of the day, you either get home or when it's dinner time, that soup is created or soup is created, or the stir fry, or not stir fry, but whatever it is that you made is ready for supper time.
Mm-hmm. You walk in the door and it's ready. You just scoop it out and eat it. That's what we like about the crock pots, especially on those busy days where you come home from work and then you have to go out again for another event or another activity. My favorite crock pot meal. Drew, do you know what it is?
Your favorite crock pot meal?
Favorite crock pot meal.
Oh. Mushroom stroganoff.
That is my favorite crock pot meal.
Dorothy can eat that.
Mushroom stroganoff.
What did I say?
You said mushroom stroganoff, yeah?
Dorothy would eat that every night if she could.
If I was allowed.
Every night.
Somebody won't let me have it every night.
Tell them what it is.
Mushroom stroganoff is super easy, so you just need a whole lot of mushrooms. So you fill your crock pot with mushrooms, you peel the mushrooms and then cut them into quarters. And you add a very little water because the mushrooms, when they cook, right, they I don't know if the right word is produce, but they're very hydrated.
Oh, yeah, they shrivel up. They're like these big giant mushrooms, and then
the liquid comes out of the mushroom. So you don't need a whole lot of liquid. You could use a broth, like a veggie broth if you wanted, but I just use water and then add my own spices. So not even a cup of water. I think it's like a half a cup of water, and then all your mushrooms, and then you can add some onions, some garlic, and then all your spices. So I like to I use Himalayan salt, pepper, a little bit, a sprinkle of cayenne, usually some parsley, and then you just let it go. You just let it cook. And then you cook up some rice, or we've had it on potatoes before too, but usually we have it over rice or quinoa. So it makes like this nice sauce almost, right, Drew, to go on top of your quinoa or your rice. Super easy to make.
And you would make that every night?
Mm-hmm. I really like it.
How long does it take to cook in the crock pot?
Not long. A couple hours, hour and a half. So it's a super quick one. Like you could even have it, if you get home, say at 4 from work, you could turn it on and it would be ready by 6 for sure. Yeah, it's a super quick one.
That was Ginny. I didn't know that, Ginny. Ginny says, this is me, Ginny. It's from Magnum York Old Rentals.
Oh.
Awesome, Ginny.
Ginny.
Thanks for tuning in and checking out our morning show today. So when there's all kinds of different, concoctions that you can make in a crock pot. So you can get creative. We have recipes on our site, and like something easy like Dorothy's talking about, but those really help. And there's a couple that we've tried. So souping it up was one of them.
So go ahead. I don't want to step on your words anymore.
And you can find that at the Olds Uptown Market here locally if you're in Olds. But souping it up was something that you picked up, and you just dumped it in the crock pot.
So they're fantastic, actually, because they have everything you need. It's in a little package. It has all the spices, all the veggies, and the rice or the lentils already in a package for you. You throw the contents of the package in the crock pot, add water, and stir it up, and then it'll cook. So we've had a soup from them and a curry as well from them. That was both very good.
And then there's another one, Tatiana?
Oh, from Taste of Ukraine.
Taste of Ukraine.
Yes.
Was another soup. She makes a bunch of different things.
Oh, she's fantastic. Yeah. Her specialty, right, Taste of Ukraine is Ukrainian cuisine, I guess. But she has some soups, some homemade soups that she prepares, and they're in little containers you can just bring home, and they're ready to go for you. Oh, all kinds of different things. Of course, she has like her borscht and her, what do you call it, all those sauerkrauts and all of that as well. Yeah.
And then again, that's found at the old Uptown Market. These are local companies that we like to support. So if preparing, like we always suggest preparing your own meals. Prepare your own meals and plan for that ahead of time if that's a big challenge for you, or if it's just a night or a week is extra busy and it's not going to happen, then you can go and find these local companies that are trying to make things healthier and easier for us. But I want to get into how to design your own meal, like for a supper.
Right.
And so when you're creating a supper, you want to find all the macronutrients. I always laugh at that word because it sounds like a big scientific
word.
But like macronutrients is just a simple, or just a one word to say your different food groups, for example, or different areas of nutrients. And for us to get a well-balanced meal, you want to have your proteins, you want to have healthy fats, slow digesting carbohydrates, and then your vegetable area, which is like antioxidants, fiber. And I always laugh because there's not really a category. There's not like a protein category for it. It's like a combination of a number of different things. But it's basically your vegetables that really help in many different areas. And as many of you know, we teach a plant-based diet. And that's our biggest area that we kind of specialize in.
Yes.
So that for us, that should be your main portion.
The biggest portion of your plate. And the protein doesn't have to be meat. For example, it can be if that's where you're at, or that's what you have. But we always suggest to divide your plate, right? So, like for example, your fiber or your antioxidant category should be about half your plate, right? So that's your veggies basically, right? And then your proteins and your carbs can be a quarter of that, for example.
Yeah, that's like if you're going to divide your plate, it's challenging if you're having like a stir fry, for example. Stir fry. Like when we design meals, we throw everything together. So if we have like a big giant salad, we call it a monster salad.
Yeah.
So if you have a salad, you have your mixture of greens. So let's say for designing a monster salad for a dinner, and I think a lot of people are like, you can't really have a filling salad for dinner.
Oh, you have not met the monster salad yet.
But if you design a well-balanced monster salad, then you're going to be stuffed full, and you're going to get all kinds of fantastic nutrients.
And you're just going to feel like running a marathon after. After a monster salad, you get so much energy. We do have a link for that recipe as well, so we could add that in. But with monster salad, you just start. It's so easy. You just start with the base of your greens, and lots of greens because it's a monster salad. And then you can add your carb. Like we always like to add quinoa. Drew likes rice. I'm not so sure about rice in my salad yet, but Drew sometimes adds a brown rice to the monster salad. And then you can add your fats, so nuts, seeds, avocados. And then all the veggies that you want, cucumbers, tomatoes, peppers, onions, whatever you want in the veggie category. For proteins, we usually like hard-boiled eggs on ours, hummus sometimes. And it's just like a party in your mouth. We love monster salads, and it's a great way to get in a full meal.
So you can combine different macronutrients to get a macronutrient. So, for example, if you have beans, for example, if you have like black beans, for example, you can throw in your salad. And if you have rice, that actually makes a complete protein. So beans and rice get your protein if you're not going to have a meat. Or if you want your meat, you can chop up like a chicken breast, for example, and throw that in. That's where you get your protein from. But for us, there's no meat. People are like, where's the meat? So when you have your salad and a bunch of different greens, those are going to, the greens really give you that energy. They have tons of antioxidants, which are healing properties. And there's also lots of fiber in them as well, including if you throw in beans, for example. But those greens are going to help your body digest that food that you're putting in your body. And I think that becomes a big issue when we have a big meal. So we may have like a big old steak, and we have a baked potato, and then maybe a side of mushrooms, for example. But there's no greens in your meal. There's nothing to help digest your food. So then when we run into digestion issues, when we kind of completely forget about the fiber macronutrient, which is the vegetable macronutrient. So we have to have those greens in there for different reasons, especially healing properties. And that's the majority of what your monster salad is. That's your greens. That's what you're eating. So when you have that monster salad, you can throw in your beans. You can, if you want beans, you can throw in hemp seeds. You can throw in avocados for your fats, and then we have that mixture of proteins that we talked about as well. So you get just a well-balanced, well-rounded combination of nutrients, or all your macronutrients in one meal. And then if you have quinoa or rice, that's your slow-digesting carbohydrate. So everything you need in one meal, and it's fantastic. And I think sometimes that when we eat and we have a big heavy meal, we feel like stuffed, and we're like, oh, I don't know what to do.
Head to the couch.
Yeah, lay on the couch,
TV.
flip through Netflix for the next 4 hours. But if you have something like a monster salad, you're going to feel energized. And you have from the greens, you get these phytonutrients that jump inside your body and explode. And we feel that with a green smoothie, for example, in the morning. That's our boost of energy. So we don't have a coffee. We have a green smoothie instead. That's our natural boost of energy without a crash. And you feel alive and vibrant, and you feel fantastic, instead of feeling like after dinner, you're like, oh, I'm stuffed. I don't want to do anything.
Mm-hmm. I like that feeling.
Yeah, it feels great to feel great after a meal instead of laying around and being like, I don't want to do anything for the rest of the night.
Yeah. And, although, I used to have tons of digestion problems, and I never knew what it was like to actually feel great after I ate. But now, having the energy after you eat it's nothing beats the feeling of after you eat. What do you call it, Drew? Feeling like a plant.
Feel like a plant. It's true. I do feel like a plant. Sometimes I get hungry. I get a little bit hangry sometimes. And that's why it's important for me to eat every 2 or 3 hours. But when I have these well-balanced meals that have so much nutrients in them, and I just feel great. I feel like, oh, I'm so hungry. Then I'm lift up, and my mind starts going a little bit quicker, and I start feeling better. I think it's challenging when throughout the day when you don't fuel your body properly. A lot of times we get up, we don't have breakfast, then we go have a coffee, and then we get a little bit of, what do you call that, brain fog.
Yeah. You know what is so, I don't know what the right word is, but so surprising maybe is the right word, to me, is how it changes your mood. When you put quality nutrients into your body, it makes you happy. So sometimes if I'm hangry or if I'm, not in a great mood, Drew's like, how about you eat some food? Right? Because it does change our mood a lot of times. So that's always one of the things that surprises me or gets me thinking when maybe I'm not in the best mood. Is what have I been eating?
Yeah, or it's time to eat.
Or it is, something. Yeah.
So what I was saying is that many times that we wake up in the morning, we don't have breakfast, and we have coffee and a pastry. So it's caffeine and sugar right in the morning, and it doesn't clear our mind. It fogs out our mind. And then we finally get a meal at 10 or 11 o'clock, maybe it's lunchtime, and then we start to feel a little bit better. But because of those foods, maybe you have you go out to the fast food and grab a meal, for example, then there's sugar in those foods, so you usually get a crash. And it's just a vicious cycle instead of putting good quality foods in your body and feeling great about it. Shauna just jumped in here and she said, you two are so knowledgeable. Thank you so
Shauna.
much. Thank you so much, Shauna. So much appreciate your support. We didn't even know you were watching. We know there's a handful of people watching. If you're here, and let us know just drop a comment in and let us know you're here so we can say hi and so we know you're around. Mm-hmm. What else we got?
What else? We talked about meal planning, right? And how important that is to, your success throughout the week. And we talked about preparing your food so that on the weekend or on a day that you're off so that you're always ready. Anything else we want to put in there?
Yes, I got it. I want to talk about it, designing your meal plan if it's not like a salad, for example. We talked about a monster salad, but when you're designing your meal plan at home, we want all the macronutrients. So maybe you have a chicken breast or a piece of fish. That'd be a better suggestion from us. So if you have a piece of fish, And then maybe you have, what would you like with that?
With fish, I would have probably quinoa.
Okay, so you cook your quinoa on the side. Dorothy will tell you she cooks it very well.
I'm the master.
Cook it slow and low.
He learned that from me.
I did.
Because he always burns the quinoa.
I burn all the time.
All the time.
I just want to cook quick.
Puts it on high and then it burns and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no. You got to be patient with quinoa.
Okay, let me finish.
Slow and slow.
So in the quinoa, you can cook it in coconut milk, for example, which is amazing.
Then you get your healthy fats.
Nice. You can throw in other spices in the quinoa. I want to mention this because a lot of people are like, quinoa doesn't taste like anything.
Right.
But if you spice it while it's cooking, it's so much better because the spices get like inside, and it's cooked like within it, not kind of on the outside. So you can throw spices. You can throw salt and pepper. You can throw in cumin. You can throw in all kinds of different spices, however you want it for you, or make it a little bit spicy too.
Yeah. And you know what, too, I wanted to say is one time somebody says to me, oh, gross, quinoa reminds me in my mouth of those sushi eggs. What is it, roe? But I'm like, it's not supposed to be crunchy. It's supposed to be light and fluffy. So if your quinoa is crunchy, it's not cooked enough. So make sure, like we were saying, low and slow. It should be like fluffy on your fork. So just make sure that a lot of times when I cook it, I start it to boil. So I bring it to a boil. And then you bring it right down to low, put the lid on. And then you just let it go 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And then it's so fluffy and nice.
Okay, so we're designing our meal plan. We have a piece of fish. And then we have our quinoa, and we want a vegetable on the side.
I would do roasted veggies.
Roasted veggies are wonderful.
So I would chop up Drew would do something totally different. But I would do onions, I would do peppers, and I'd probably do a zucchini and mushrooms with a fish. Nice. And then so you can just chop all those veggies up. And those veggies I'd probably saute in the pan. So you could put a little bit of coconut oil in your frying pan. Throw the veggies in and toss sprinkle some Himalayan salt and pepper on there. Maybe a little lemon, squeeze the lemon, and just let them saute. And the trick with sauteing veggies and even roasting veggies is not to do it for too long. So you still want your veggies to be a little bit crunchy and not soggy. One, because they taste better that way, and two, because when we let them cook for too long in their mush, they don't have as much nutrients in them, because the longer we let them cook, the more nutrients is released from them.
That's right. So don't boil your vegetables ever.
Don't do that.
Because they'll be mushy, and then you'd be like, I don't like vegetables. I think that's why kids are like, I don't like vegetables. Because unfortunately, we're not really sure how to cook them or flavor them, spice them. And it's like mush. It like falls apart in your mouth, and you're like, who wants to eat that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I would instead of roasted veggies, I would have put barbecued asparagus.
That's a good one.
Or baked. I like that with fish.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another option for you. So let's go over our macronutrients here, which may not be too exciting. But if we have fish, like fish, for example, has tons of healthy fats. So you get your proteins and your fats with your fish. You also get protein with the quinoa or rice, just not as much protein in a rice. But you have your slow digesting carb and protein with quinoa as well, quinoa rice. And then we have our antioxidants, fiber category with our asparagus or roasted veggies. Mm-hmm. So that's your well-balanced meal with all your macronutrients and everything you need to heal your body properly for a meal.
Mm-hmm. I know meal planning, setting out 7 days can be quite a task for some people, but I'd like to give like a little insight into that if that's okay.
Yeah, Dorothy does meal planning.
Because this is what I do. Go ahead.
Dorothy does meal planning. Excuse me?
I said, you're talking so much. It's my turn now.
Okay.
But go ahead. Dorothy does meal planning.
I was just going to say Dorothy does meal planning each week for our monthly membership. So that's what she does every single week. So she'll have good tips for you to learn from, is what I would like to say before you just jump into it.
I appreciate that, Drew. Thank you. So it can be daunting meal planning because you have 7 days in front of you and you have to come up with 7 meals. Oh my gosh, I don't even know what to cook for 1 meal. How am I going to come up with 7 meals? I get it. So what I like to do when I'm meal planning is to have break it up into categories. So each week we have a soup in there, usually during this time because it's winter, right? We have a soup in there. So a soup meal, and then we have a salad meal, like a monster salad. And then we have a meal like Drew was describing with, basically your meat protein and your veggie and your carb. So we have one of those meals in there. We usually have a casserole in there as well, a stir fry, and then something a bit more fun or adventurous. So adventurous, maybe not so much adventurous, but for example, a burrito or a wrap or, what else? Tacos, like fish tacos, for example. So something that might be on the weekend, a little bit more time. And then that's already 6 different categories, right? So you're getting so much different variety as well. And I think when we break it down into categories like that, it's much easier, right? And it gives you so many more ideas because if you just look at soups, there's so many different soups you can make, right? There's veggie soups, and then there's chicken noodle soups. We have roasted pepper tomato one that we like in our membership. Drew has a nice, what is yours? With the soup, the detox soup you have.
Green detox soup?
No, we have that one too, though. But you have a couple detox soups. So within each category, you can come up with so many more ideas. So that's how I like to meal plan is each come up with different categories, and then each week it's easier that way. And the variety, right, is there as well.
I want to show you guys what a meal plan looks like. I'm going to flip this around for our Instagrammers. I want to show you guys what a meal plan looks like that Dorothy designs for our membership.
Thank you, Drew.
You're welcome. So.
You just had it there. Where did it go?
Oh, just wait. I did just have it here.
The background music would be nice right now. Where's that, Drew? Come on.
Okay. So this is just an old one I just pulled up. So December week 4, Dorothy designs one each week, a brand new one. So she's got fancy pictures in there, and then notes. Do you want to explain while I'm flipping through?
Sure. So there's always a note section, just to kind of give you any tips and tricks that you might need for that particular week. Maybe there's a different ingredient there, so there's tips of where to buy it, for example. And then there's also, if you scroll down, Drew, I'm not sure what you're doing here.
Just want to make sure that they get to see. So here's tips throughout the week.
Tips and tricks throughout the week. And then there's usually where to find like the recipes in the notes section. And there's then a prep section as well. What do you need to prep for the week? So it's all laid out for you. And then you have your nutrition at a glance. So this is a page you could print off and put on your fridge, for example. And it is just a list of all of the meals you're going to have throughout the week. So you see.
Trudy said she's not seeing it. Sorry, guys. Just wait. Let me go back here. Just seeing the mountain. All right, let me try again here. So, just want to pull up our screen. You guys should be able to see it now. Can you guys see it now? Just drop a comment in there and let us know if you can see it.
Nope, still the mountains.
Huh. Not sure why it wouldn't show up. This is the screen. You guys still
maybe we'll have to show them a different time.
Okay.
On a different video. Drew will have to do a little homework on how to screen share.
Mountain.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Well, I was hoping that would help share the screen. Well, this is when you share the screen.
Maybe you have to drag it in to the screen. Can you drag a file into the screen?
Shauna said, can you read Shauna's thing?
Shauna says, I'm part of the monthly membership and the meal plan recipes are laid out and information for those of you, I can't read the corner of the comment there, it's cut off. Oh, for those of you not in the membership. I think that's what it is. I wonder if you can drag that
I think they should be able to see it now.
Oh.
Can you guys see it now? Or just the mountain? Shauna said, I'm part of the monthly membership and the meal plans recipes are laid out and informative for those of you that are not in the membership. Thanks very much, Shauna. All right, we're going to carry on. We're just waiting for a comment to see if you guys can actually... Oh, that one still? Okay. No. Okay, sorry guys. We are going to move on.
You have to do a little homework on how to do that.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that's not working out.
No?
Can't drag a file. Okay, sorry guys. Not sure why that's not working out, but let me flip this around. So when you guys are designing your own meal plan, that'll give you some suggestions on how Dorothy designs them for our membership and what you can do to design your own.
Mm-hmm. And what was I going to say? The meal plans that I create are very easy. They would just be the kind of thing where you would grab and go. It's all laid out for you and ready to go. The recipes are there. So it would be one of those, just take the meal plan and execute kind of thing. So if you're that type of person where you don't think that you have the time or maybe aren't interested even in doing your own meal planning, then we would suggest, having one already made for you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so just before we let you guys go here, we do have a workshop coming up here next week. It's our green machine.
Green machine.
For St. Patrick's Day. So we do these events that give you ideas to stay strong and healthy throughout the different holiday seasons because they're never ending. We just did a Valentine's Day one. Before that, it was Christmas, and then it was New Year's, and then what was it? Anything before
then Valentine's Day, and now it's St. Patrick's Day coming up.
And after St. Patrick's Day, it's Easter.
Easter never ends.
So it's very challenging to stay healthy. So we do these workshops to prepare recipes to get a chance to get in front of you instead of just on a screen. So what do we have coming up? Well, sorry, let me just mention that's on Tuesday here coming up March 13th at 7 p.m. And what do we have, Dorothy?
Oh, we have all kinds of things going on. So we wanted to focus a bit of attention on detoxing this at this event. So we're going to have green smoothies. We're going to actually talk about the difference between a green smoothie and a fruit smoothie. A lot of times people just think that a green smoothie is, a fruit smoothie with greens in it. But the green smoothies that we talk about are not, there's no fruit in them. So it's a detoxing smoothie. And we're going to talk about the difference between those and sample different ones as well. So you will be able to taste our green smoothies. We'll also have a fruit smoothie for you as well. And because Valentine's Day, our raw chocolate event, was such a hit, people were asking us, I can't make it that night. Is there another time you're going to do a raw chocolate event? And we don't usually like to repeat events, but we are going to have a little demo of raw chocolate again for those of you who may have missed it at Valentine's Day. And then we have some sweet treats for St. Patrick's Day as well. So some green protein balls, for example, we have, and some other, I don't want to tell everything because then it won't be a surprise.
Well, a few surprises for you that'll be there.
But we also perfected a green pancake recipe, so we'll be sharing those with you. We have some tricks and tips about how to make healthy pancakes as well that we'll be sharing at the event.
So they're always a blast, and we always appreciate your support, those that come and check it out. For this event, for the first time, we're actually going to record and stream the whole thing live. So if you would like to still sign up and you can't actually be there physically, you can still watch us live, ask questions, feel like you're a part of the night or the evening. And if you still can't watch it Tuesday night live, we're going to have the recording for you as well, for the full recording, for those that sign up as well. So we'll leave a link at the bottom. And we have an event page or event group on Facebook, facebook.com/trueformlife for many of you who are watching, for our Instagrammers there. And it's going to be a great night. So if you get a chance, sign up. We'd love to see you. We always do specials for our products as well. So Complete Truth Protein will be on sale, and we'll have a few other offers that we have going on. We have a 21-day smoothie private group coming up here very soon that we'll be announcing. So we're super excited about
that one.
Been wanting to do it for a long time, so we're finally going to get that launched, and we'll announce more details like that Tuesday night as well. Mm-hmm. All right, guys.
That's it. That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
Another Friday.
Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. We always appreciate your support, and we hope see you Tuesday.
Yeah, we will, Shauna.
That's right, Shauna. Thanks, Shauna. Shauna came to our last event as well, so thanks, Shauna. We look forward to seeing you as well, and we look forward to seeing the rest of you that may be coming too.
Yes.
All right, guys. Have a great day. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you inside.
Yeah, if we don't see you this week on social media, we'll catch you next Friday live.
Yeah, we'll be back next Friday live.
All right. Have a good week.
See ya.
Bye.